Is YouTube. Yay! Yay! Is YouTube. Is YouTube. Is YouTube. Yay! Go ahead and click it. On. Yay! Is YouTube. Is YouTube. Is YouTube. Is YouTube. Yay! Go ahead and click it. On.
Jesus. Right. Should we walk? Echo! Have I fixed the echo? I fixed it. Yes, we fixed the echo. We fixed the echo. Right, move over there. Hogging me table, jeez. What's the crack? Myself and Mrs. Skarnir are going to be painting. So say hello to this.
Hello, guys.
Have Tyranids. I'm over on the right. Skarnir is over on the left. Have some miniatures to paint. We're gonna paint some Nids. And yeah, we haven't really picked any colours in particular. Go from there and give it a go. Alright.
Okay.
Oh. Have some Landry dust on the palette, so that's a base colour. Oh, Mrs. Skarnir isn't no orcs. Well, okay, Squig Boss, we can dig up some orcs in a bit. But we decided to try some Nids for something different. So I don't know how I ended up with Nids, but there you go. So this is a base colour. So normally when Mrs. Skarnir has no experience with miniatures, by the way, so just in case you're wondering.
Bear with us. We'll be able to learn something today.
Yeah, they're all mostly veterans, my lot. Yeah, base colours are on first. So these are all being undercoated with like Chaos Black. So I would have sprayed them and then clean all of them. That's why there's like plastic. Yeah, but whatever, we're gonna give them a base colour. So I have Xandri Dust there. Sadly, my Mephiston Red has died a death. Pot. So you wanted to paint yours red, didn't you?
Red
Ew.
red and blue.
Base colour, that's frag blue. Put that in our mix there. What is everybody else working on? What does this mean? I can't swear no more. Hans Gruber says hello, Miss Skarnir.
Hello.
What are you lot painting? Yes, Squig Boss, no swearing. Getting scolded.
I get this up.
The paintbrush. Paintbrush. Scoop it out and put it on the.
Not too much.
Yes, I do like normally. I do 2 of them and then put
Rinse.
some water in, and I do like 1 of water. Trying to dig into me paint pots and see if I actually have another red.
You can literally tell I'm very inexperienced with it.
Like, what do you do with the brush? What end do I hold?
Oh,
Like, maybe. Just the base of WAAAAGH Flesh, then warbosses Green. WAAAAGH Flesh and then warbosses Green for Nids. I could do that for the shits and giggles.
They're not forced. Mix it in.
Yeah, that's loads. Loads of water. Close the pot before you spill it. The last thing we needed is a spill live on YouTube. Sure, they'd love that. Be like, ha ha ha. It's like a joke.
Yeah.
These are shades. People spill lots of shade and they're like, oh, I spilled my pot. Yeah.
Wasting a bit of paint there.
That's like €6 something a pot. Not cheap. And then see the tissue paper? Now you can rinse out your brush. Yeah. Right, so you wanted to do like blue and red, was it? Wanted to do the armor. Shitten or chitin or whatever way you pronounce it. Your red is in here, but I told you it's.
And revive the red then. We
Alright,
can
I'll give it a
get
good
me
shake.
some.
Go on, you can do the armor. Blue, while you have it there. Oh, Hans Gruber's still painting looters. Looters are orcs with like big massive guns. Lots of guns. Steal them. Yeah. Bit less. Don't go mad on the paint. Little bits of paint.
A little less on the.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thin layers. Think like thin layers. Try and get your brush
Thin
to
a
a...
brush. Or...
Yeah, try and get your brush to a point though. So what you do is, once you've mixed the paint, right? Wash out your brush. Dry it. Try and use your mouth, get it to a point. So some people lick the brush, and then you only need about
That much.
about yay amount. Just go with stabs. Big boss. Fresh blood. Yay! Blood for the blood god. Hold on, there has to be another bleeding.
Guys, just leave your comments. Tell me what you think about my first time.
How terrible of a tutor I am. I already know. Even shocking.
It's gonna be probably teach skills.
An old blood red we could
Have a look.
maybe. Go on, fire away. Your ultramarine's blue. It's probably the wrong shade of blue, but sure, whatever. Used to paint north. I do. Well, I pretend to paint them. I mostly slack off. Gas the subscribers. Wait, hold on. We have to be able to save this map. Sweet Jesus. Blue.
Painting.
Chilling. Very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Generally just like out and chatting. It's really good if you have like I find sit down with friends, or that's what we do. Discord, you'll like sit down and you'll chat to other people online.
Yeah.
You'll just talk about the hobby. Oh geez, this pot is dead. I barely opened this pot. Be able to get some. Who's on the left screen? Mrs. Skarnir is on the left screen. Skarnir is trying to save some Memphis Don Red on the right screen, but it's Jesus. I barely use this pot, like.
You say bugs?
Bitch. Bugs. Yeah, Nids. The Tyrannids are kind of like space alien bugs.
Yeah.
They sort of consume everything. And Mrs. Skarnir pretty much does not know anything about 40k. I've tried to protect her from her filthy wargamer ways, but yeah.
Bound to happen.
Bound to happen. Should have some airbrush thinner. My white looks like that. Yeah, man. It's like, this is like putty. What happens is, these paint pots don't seal great. So even if you don't open them, if you don't use them, they will dry out. So there's different types of pots. There's pots like this with lips, and then there's called dropper bottles. So they're bottles like these guys, and it's literally dropper bottle. They tend to last a bit better. Hence, problem with these lids is that the seal, the paint gets in at the seal. But even like ones you haven't opened, they can be really bad at sealing, and then the paint dries out. The medium, because paint is suspended in a medium, because the paint's made up of pigment and like pigment fixer, and then acrylic medium, because these are all acrylic paints, so they're water soluble. So we can mix. That's why we can mix them with water.
Okay.
These were oil paints. See the way this paint's a little bit lumpy? It's medium has evaporated out of it. So the liquid that it's normally suspended in has dried out, because the paint pots aren't great, if I'm being blue in the water. You don't want to really contaminate your colors. So if you're watering down a paint, you don't want to mix blue in, because you want blues to be blue, your reds to be reds. Obviously, there are times where you want to mix colors and stuff, but for now we're just trying to get base coats on. Duke. Go on, keep painting there. I'll worry about this paint. Chipping away. Mr. Skorvanks, does this herald the coming of Orc Stealer hybrids? You never know. I don't like to cross things out. I don't plan on collecting a Tyrannid army. I mean, like, if you want to collect a Tyrannid army, Mrs. Skarnir, you can.
What?
You can fire away there. You might need to sell a kidney to start an army, but you know. Not a cheap hub. Right, so at least we got some red going. So you wanted to paint yours red with. Yeah, well, you can do that. You can always change the color. Wash out your brush. And do the armor. So I'm going to paint the armor on these guys. Some Mephiston red. 40k saying I bought the white contrast paint because Ceramite white is trash. Yeah, man, Ceramite white is garbage. I literally had a pot that was like, say, it'd be like blue tack, so like poster tack, poster putty kind of stuff you use to stick to walls, posters to walls. So I bought a white paint, never opened it. It just times to just die. Probably dead. Not cheap, so. But there's different brands you can get. The ones we're using are Games Workshop paints. They're made by Games Workshop, but there's other companies. There's Vallejo, they're like a Spanish company. There's AK Interactive, some of the other paints we have. Army Painter, so there's quite a selection of paints that can be. They all have different, they'll all be slightly different. Maybe some paints will be thicker. Maybe some paints will have better coverage. Like, taking into account this is going straight over a black coverage for the. Poke Cactus says he started switching to Army Painter. Yeah, so a lot of people will like switch away from the Games Workshop ones. Various reasons. So I can understand that. Poke Cactus. There are cheaper alternatives. The brand we're using is expensive, but it's also probably the most common. Say that the most common that people come across. Games Workshop have retail stores on the high street, whereas to buy most of the other ones, you'd have to sort of know the hobby already and know where to go looking for them. So I'd say Games Workshop stuff is the most popular due to exposure. It all depends. Practice is going to. Big Boss is asking, is she in the Discord? No, she's not in the Discord. Can we ask you questions, Mr. Garner? Yes, you may, but start being a cheeky git, I'll kick you in the ass.
Nice and simple, though.
Gruber, touching wood. I haven't had any of my Citadel paints dry out on me. No, I've had a few, dude. Even ones I haven't even broke the seal on, I've had a few that have died out. But it depends on where you're storing them, your humidity, quite a lot of factors as well. Obviously, in drier areas, your paints are gonna dry out a lot more, and then if you're storing them in shelves that are beside like radiator or if whatever source of heating you use for your home, they're gonna dry out quicker. Ideally, you probably want to store them in a mini fridge just for your miniature paints. Sure, the missus would love that. Rocking up to the fridge and there's a whole load of miniature paints. It's like, what's going on here?
Miniatures, is it?
Yep. For me minis. Me miniature paints. That's what people do with these wet palettes. So the palette that we're using to put a paint on, seal it, and then you try and keep it longer. You can. Yeah, well, see if it's in. Mix it too much. The WAAAAGH Productions is here. We'll be sending tips with us to our homes to suck these paint pots dry while we sleep. Is it like the angel's share of whiskey? So for those of you who don't know, when they age whiskey, it's pretty much controlled evaporation, and when you put a whiskey barrel out to be stored, some of it's going to evaporate, and they call it the angel's share. So maybe it's just like the equivalent angel's share of miniature paints. we're slowly just aging. Yeah, I'm doing like a khaki color for the and then there's things called washes that you can put over them, so it'll go into the cracks and the crevices, and I'll hit this up with like a brown wash. So it's not like a paint, it's kind of watery. Yo, I've never painted Tyrannus before. You're not the, it's the first time for me too. Not the only one. Squeak Boss Mad Knobs, are you single? You're asking Mrs. Skarnir if she's single. Have a guess. Joker, this one. WAAAAGH Productions. My Cerebite White dried and became chunky right out of the store. Yeah, same thing happened to me, man. Same thing happened to me. It was literally like a lump of putty in the pot. It had congealed into straight up lump of putty. Pot itself. Like a yeah, so realistically, you should be painting the skin of these guys first. That way, if you mess up. So normally what you're doing with miniatures is you're painting them, and you want to paint them from the inside out. So if you're thinking of yourself wearing clothes and miniatures, you'd want to start with the skin first, because if you get any of the skin color on the clothes, you're going to paint the clothes afterwards. And then after that, you'll probably do the weapons. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. If you're putting on base layers, you want to paint the miniatures from the inside layers outward. Ah, yeah, you're painting them over. That's what I'm doing with this one now. Is I really should have started with the base flesh layers and live in North England. You live in North England, so it's mostly rainy and cold. One of my mates lives in North England. It's pretty nice. Yeah. Well, you go indoors and you play games then. You don't have to worry about the rain. You know what I mean? It's like if you're an outdoors kind of person, you'd be bummed out, but the likes of me, I'm like, Jesus, we'll play Hero Quest or something. Stick on the Sega Genesis or the Mega Drive or hands on. Or do a bit of painting, yeah, that's it. Get a bit of hobby done. Yep. Raining out today, just get no excuses. Playing with unpainted armies. I'd never do such a thing. Get rope you into painting my orcs.
Way you're end up here.
I would never do such a thing. Sure. I would never do. Rots maybe, wouldn't not the orc. You paint the little gob.
Is that what we could?
Probably we'll paint some Gretchen. I've like 100.
Get me to armies.
Oh no, I have it built. Just don't have it painted. you can chip in with the painting part. The building part, no, I have it built. Help with the you can help.
Let's get today finished.
We have to get the Nids finished first. Alright. Yeah. Alright.
That's small.
They're small and work our way up to something. Have you painting stompers in no time? Stompers?
Yeah.
They're the big robots. They're like the size of kids. They're pretty much like children's sand buckets for the beach on legs. Probably the best description of a stomper. In layman's terms, think of child's bucket upside down with legs and armor plates. There you go. That's a stomper.
That creates a picture in my head.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's your mental. Evo uploaded a video. We'll have a gander at that later. Stevo's video. In other news, what have I been up to? Bought the BattleTech starter set. And now the award. That needs to. Right. How's you getting along? Emails. Yeah, just don't worry about trying to get like see the way I've painted mine and it's not totally solid the colour. You're just trying to do thin layers, so don't be worried about trying to get it as the colour as strong as possible, because you can come back and do second layers again if it's thin enough. Because what happens is if we put the paint on too thick, we start to lose the detail of the miniature, where you can see that there's skin and little details of the gun and stuff. So some paints, because we're colouring over black now, ideally we should be painting over like a grey or a white, because we're painting light colours, because these are sort of the red and the sort of off bone colour. We should probably be painting over white. But I painted these ones black. I think I was originally going to do these guys grey. So the colour that they're painted beforehand affects it. It'll affect the coverage. But a lot of the stuff we're using are base layers. So black and stuff. Yeah, get there. We'll get there in the end. Better it could be. 2 thin coats. That's it. That's the meme. Likes to go. Wow, productions. Do I do historicals? Not at the moment. I do like the looks of bolt action, but there just really isn't a player base here in Dublin. I've been starting to get into BattleTech a bit more. Not playing as much 40k, but I still have loads of 40k. An Apocalypse game in October that I need to prep for, that I'm running. Big massive Apocalypse game where it's just orcs. Warhammer World that I run. Me and my friends, we do it pretty much like every 6 months. I need to get ready for that game. And apart from that, like I haven't played a game of 40k in a few days. Yeah, there's not really. I suppose this is the problem with war games, is you can only really play what other people play as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've always find it somewhat ironic if there's like an antisocial perception of war gamers or people who do like tabletop gaming, because you literally can't play the games by yourself. You need to have someone else to play with. Yeah. So what can happen is somebody might like a gaming system, but it's either it's not popular or other people just don't know about it, but they can't really play. So what folk end up doing is if they really like something, they'll buy it and they'll just sit down and they'll paint miniatures. So there's a lot of people who, you know, ultimately these are wargaming pieces. You're supposed to like play games with them, but not everyone does. There are some people who just like to paint them. Maybe they can't find people near them that play, or maybe they don't like actually playing the games and they just like painting them. So it's, do you know what I mean? The hobby is it's a wide spectrum of people who have different interests in miniatures themselves. It's, yeah, you might. Yeah, you're a little interest in the hobby itself. So historicals wise, I don't think there's much of a following of it here in Dublin. Yeah. I like the look of Bolt Action. It looks. Paint then solo play. That could be done. Better base. Plus side thick paint's good at dodgy joints on the miniatures. That's true, and also trying to cover up mold lines.
Right. That look. How?
Yeah, Grant. We'll hit him with a wash or two afterwards. Want to paint his head?
Let's not forget his head, eh?
Yeah. Let's not forget his head. Yeah, and there's like bone plates on the front head, so you can do them in blue if you're doing the bone blue. It's up to you, really. You're a miniature, you paint them whatever way you want. Oop. Need. Like, what are they called again? Nids. Not Nids.
Not dude.
Not dude. You can call him dude if you want, whatever. I don't think he'd be too happy about you calling them whatever you want. Not pleasant, you know. They don't look pleasant, but I don't know. Maybe it's just they made a very bad forced impression in 40k, and people have always taken them up the wrong way. Maybe that Gene Stealer, all he's ever wanted to do in his life is get a hug off of someone, and people have just automatically attacked him. You know, so maybe, you know, maybe they're just the victims of stereotyping. It all depends. And sometimes people paint their guns different colors and stuff because their guns are supposed to be. This is the whole thing with Tyrannids, is everything's supposed to be a living organism, so their guns are sort of bio creatures. All their armor is sort of like grown, all that type of thing. You know what I mean? It's all Boss is asking, can you do a 500-point battle report with Miss Skarnir? I'd have to her to play the game, and if she wanted to play herself, and then have a table and terrain, and sort out a new camera to do battle reports. So I don't know, maybe in the distant future, but not right now. I think it's feasible. You blowing your nose with your
well, you didn't have to say that.
Your tissue, yeah, but there's paint on it. The tissue paper for the paint woman.
I was trying to be very discreet there, you know.
You were trying and failed.
Very discreet. Jesus, can't do anything around here.
Nope. We're getting there. What do you think about the gun? Well, I just painted the same color as him. Sure, I painted it very badly. Have any Tamiya paint? Is it an acrylic paint? Because I know there's enamel paints and they're like oil based, and I'm a bit apprehensive with using oil based paints because I know there's a bit more. You need to use like paint thinners, and then you need to use synthetic brushes and stuff because you want to paint. You want to clean out the brushes with terps pretty much. Because that's what I figured the pigment binder from AK Interactive was, because as soon as I open this bottle, it smells like turpentine. So I reckon there's like something like that in this pigment fixer. I have a wife, I know. Tormented. No ring on it yet. Give it time.
I was gonna say.
The wife, the missus. Give it time. Saving me me teeth. I have expensive tastes. That's the problem. Like, I like that ring. Jesus. How much?
I think we'll have to get mummies.
Have to sell off me miniatures to buy a ring.
That's what we need to do.
I think I'd have to sell more than one army to get a ring. Jesus. Expensive. Start putting up the advertisements on the Facebook groups now. Army for sale.
Must buy a ring.
Need to buy a rock. Sacrifice for the cause. Alexander Warren is here. What is the story? And right now, channel. Yeah, I was going to say the community awards winners. We had 3 guys. So I did a building competition, and then there was 3 dudes who were drawn for the 3rd list. So there was votes. Everybody voted. Votes are over. What we're going to do is we're going to pick a winner out of them. So the community award for the small building competition was between Garslag and Morcack and Pale Green Git. So they all had 2 votes each. I think there was 14 people with votes, and these 3 gits were the only ones with multiple votes. But it was a widespread. Everyone had their own favorites, sort of. What we will do now is we get Mrs. Skarnir to roll a dice on camera. Pick a random winner. So Garslag, Morcack, and Pale Green Git. So 1 to 2, Garslag wins. 3 to 4, Morcack wins, or Pale Green Git wins. 5, 6. So here's your die.
Okay.
Roll on this camera so they can all see, so it's all live. Just roll it. 1. That is Garslag. So Garslag was the community winner. So this guy, I'll build a miniature for him. So he was voted by the community. There was a building competition the last time. I'll get in touch with him and I'll build a miniature for him. There you go, Garslag. Garslag won. Yay! Go Gershlag. Don't forget about the work in progress Discord link, guys. Throw that up there, and you can. We'll have a look at the progress at the end of the stream. That. Yes, Gershlag has one. So if you want to post your work in progresses, post up to folks so you can see what you've been working on during the stream, and we'll have a look near the end. Actually pretty detailed. I always thought Tyrannids wouldn't be as being a lot easier to paint, but a lot to them. These are basic ones. I think these came out of a starter set, a 4th edition starter set. Did you see what I mean? Like, I've clipped the red on this guy. So normally when you're doing flesh, what you might even do...
Is that a new coat? Coats do.
Yeah, about 2. See, the thing with these type of armies is they're... If you're playing the game, they're like horde armies, so you're going to have like loads of these little... You don't really go too detailed, but I suppose if you're just painting them, want to go to town on the guys, you know what I mean, and take your time. Because there's different levels of paint jobs. There's like what people call like tabletop basic or a tabletop standard, and you'll do like at least 3 colors. You'll paint the base, you know, because people go to tournaments and competitions and stuff, painting awards and stuff like that. But some people are really into painting the miniatures. Other people really just like to play the game, but they want to get their miniatures painted quickly. But there's no like should have an uber standard. Different people paint at different abilities. Like I said, different people have different interests. So some folk are really into painting miniatures. Other folk are really into playing the game. Some folk just do painting competitions and stuff. So there's some really like high-end artists. Well, be say like there was a convention or an event on. So what you'll do is you'll pick your miniatures beforehand, and you'll get it painted for that convention or that event. People could take weeks or months, or you know, they start when previous year's finished, start straight away and work on a miniature for a whole year. But it's all the level that some people paint it is crazy. Like they're proper artists, like, you know what I mean? Some crazy stuff. Professional artists. Some people, yeah, they get paid to literally paint miniatures. They might work for some of the companies. Like the guys who make these miniatures, Games Workshop, they have professional painters who paint their stuff that will be shown in magazines and pictures. So you can make a job out of it, you know? And then there's other guys who do commission painting. So there's other people who paint other people's armies for a living, you know? And on what level they paint at, it might depend on how expensive it is. But in general, it's going to cost you money if you're getting somebody else to paint miniatures, because it takes time. You know what I mean? It takes
What's the fun?
Yeah, well, not everyone likes painting. Some people don't like painting. Like I said, it's a different spectrum. Some people like playing the game. Other people's like... Oh, Caddis, Battle for McCrag. Yes, Battle for McCrag miniatures. Training that box set is 100%. Yeah, the Crash the Quilla set. So the box set that these guys came in, called the Battle for McCrag, it was one of the starter sets from the early 2000s. It came with a crashed aircraft, but it was really cool. Paint it all up. tube's great. Copying you. Original. Grand, yeah, just get a solid base color in, and I said like we can come in with other washes. You highlights. You'll put the base colors in. Because the miniatures are so small, we want the detail to pop. So what we do is we come in with a lighter color. We do a highlight. Generally, you have a thin layer of paint, and you'll do it on the edges so that your eyes. You're trying to trick your eye because they're so small. We're trying to trick our eyes into seeing detail and make it stand out more. Do something called highlighting.
Use this.
No, we'll get some other grey, or generally if it's like, if you're, see the way we have like your base coat of red, we'll get a lighter colour red, and then generally you highlight up to white, but it all depends. Like if you have hundreds of these dudes to do, you might use a technique called dry brushing. Straightforward. But they are crazy aliens, so you know, you can go to town with these guys. Too worried about. A lot of creative freedom. Just try and be tidy. I think that's the main thing I aim for when I'm painting the likes of these guys is.
But part of it being tidy and making sure you don't have colours everywhere.
Well, yeah, you can have different colours everywhere, but it's.
But not messy.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's like hand-eye coordination, I suppose.
I.e., what is happening right now?
No, it looks tidy. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's better than my Force miniature, so I wouldn't be. Though, when you're sitting down and you're trying to concentrate on not making a mess, you're like. But that's why I was saying earlier, you paint the miniatures from the inside out. So if you made a mess with the base skin layer and you got it on the armor, you're less likely to do that with the armor because it's detail on the outside. Got a little bit. Slowly, Foley. Andrew saying, loving the red and blue. Your dog paintings here. What is the crack? Why are we painting up Tyrannids? Why not? This is Skarnir wanted to paint a miniature, so I had some Tyrannids. I figured she could have most creative freedom in choice of color with some Nids as opposed to orcs. Bit of a laugh. Different. Well, I think this is Hive Kraken, the color scheme I've picked, but that's why I said, like, with Tyrannids, they could be any color, really. You know what I mean? You could do the same with orcs. Generally, their skin is green, but you can paint them like red orcs, blue orcs. I've seen like white orcs, various shades of green. Well, most of the time they tend to be painted green. I suppose you could have creative freedom with them. But the difference would be like metal guns and stuff. Whereas with Tyrannids, it literally could be any color. Like any color you want to think of. If you wanted to have pink guns and purple hooves.
Did you just say pink?
Yeah, you could paint the pink if you wanted.
Excuse me.
I don't think I have pink, but you know what I mean.
He reckons I'm a woman.
No. There's no like gender stereotyping here. Calm down, love.
Then.
I'm saying creative freedom. Get me in trouble. Hello, Tyler Miller. What's the crack? Lab production. Job. Tidy. It's very tidy. Fair play.
Trying my best here.
Oh, Cactus is asking, if not orcs, what army would you play? Who are you asking? Are you asking me, or are you asking Mrs. Skarnir what army she'd like to play if she wanted to?
Bit more exposure to actually.
Yeah, you need to actually be shown all of the armies to actually pick one. To be like, who are these guys?
Like.
Here's with me. If I was getting another army, if I could afford another army. I really like Nids. Nids are cool, but I also like messing this up. I also like the Imperial Guard. So they're dudes who have like a lot of tanks. So I like tanks, but I like the Nids. The Nids look pretty cool. So yeah, if I was doing another army, I'd do either these guys, Tyranids, or I'd do Imperial Guard. Or suppose the perfect mix of the two would be the Gene Stealer Cultists, which are sort of a mix of Tyranids and like Imperial Guard. I suppose the best to describe them would be the foot troops of basic army dudes in Warhammer. It'd be like tanks and vehicles, and it's all humans with guns and stuff. Like these guys would probably be the bad guys. Can be. It's very interesting. All books about the storyline. Loads of different books. Stories. Taking a year. No, it's grand. So like if you're doing one layer, you can move on to the next guy. You know what I mean? So generally people paint in batches, whereas we're sort of picking away at the one guy and seeing what paint scheme we sort of like. And paint one guy one way and then move on and wait for the paint to dry there. On to the next guy. Like I said, probably be better off. Like if you could get a spray paint, so you can get a spray paint of this one. Make this quicker painting in general. You'd get a spray paint of whatever base color you're doing. So with your one, you'd get like a spray paint that's red. Spray paint the miniature red. And that's the base color done. So that's one step. Yeah, in the process. So you wouldn't have to paint by hand. You know what I mean? Yeah. Want to sort of speed it up a little bit. That's one smart way to do it. Then there's different paints called contrast paints. So you could do some interesting stuff with them. They're kind of like washes. Washes and yeah, I think I'll do. But there's loads of different ways you can do paint up your miniatures. Even same color scheme as what we're doing. Different ways to paint up the same color scheme using different paints, and so even if you like paint the same way as somebody else, they may have used different techniques. So no two armies have to look the same. Like no two miniatures either. In general, you kind of want to have a uniform sort of look to your army. I think I'll move on to the next guy. Or the needs.
Say that his name.
Well, yeah, base layers. Do some other funky stuff. But yeah, like so with this one, now that I know what skin color I want to use, I'll start with the skin and work out. That way, if I make any mistakes with the armor, or I can get as much, like, see, I can get as much as I want on the armor now and not care because I'm going to paint it after I finish the base layer.
Right.
So it'll be the same for you. If you're going to paint your guys like a base color of red, just paint all the flesh red first, and then whatever armor you're doing, whatever color you're doing the armor, you can be more patient with that, and you can cover up your later you can cover up any mistakes you make. Sort of. So you're a fan of horde armies? Yeah, pretty much. Change your colors, you can do 3 more armies. Your misses painting together. Yeah, it's good fun actually. It's always fun to paint with other people. I find you get more done as well. You have a laugh.
Not too serious then, is
Yeah,
it?
it's not. No, it's not too serious.
It's never serious.
Painting.
It's meant to be relaxing. I
Yeah,
think.
it's sort of like a chin sort of.
If it's your thing, then you'll be able to enjoy it.
I actually think most people, even people who aren't into wargaming, would enjoy sitting down and just painting miniatures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of therapeutic. Where you're not really thinking too much. You're just sort of, yeah, you're just
Get on
plugging
with it.
away at it, and you're chilling and painting. You know what I mean? I honestly do think most people, you know, they may not like playing the game or be into the whole hobby aspect of collecting whole armies and stuff, but I think most people would be just sort of chilling down. Mortal Sting saying Gene Stealer cult very similar to BLOODAXE'S infiltration. That is true, yeah. Trying to sell me on getting another army. Like to wouldn't take too much persuading. That is very true. They are like super infiltration. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. What happened to the blood axes? Marcos is asking. We thought we'd try something different. Mrs. Skarnir is on today. Thought we'd try some Nids just for the pure creative freedom. Yeah. Well, I'm like, it's nice to paint something different from time to time. You get kind of sick of painting same colors again and again and again. So I can understand why a lot of folk have more than one army. They want to try paint some other miniatures, some different.
1,000 different.
But yeah, but like say like you've picked a color scheme like the one I'm doing, and you're painting like 200 of these guys. You're gonna get sick of painting 200 of the same color. Or well, I do anyway. More so maybe some other people are more disciplined than I am, but it happens. So it's nice to mix things up a bit. You know what I mean? Change. Don't want to be changing too often because you'll have like 4 different armies and none of them are bloody painted. No. Boss says, you see my Instagram story? Not yet, Squig Boss. I will have a look later after stream. Hans is saying if some of the models had a decent state, I'd be tempted with the LR Craft World Army. That is true. A lot of the miniature lines are very old and are due an update. It's one of the things that kind of annoys me about Games Workshop is they tend to put all their eggs into one basket. So we're seeing a lot of Primaris Marines, which is a pity. I'd like to see some more of their new production put into a lot of the Xenos armies. The Nids need some updates. The Eldar need a lot of updates. Even just basic stuff. New plastic for the guys. Yeah, there's a lot of miniatures that need updating. A lot of the Orc stuff needs to be updating. A lot of the Xenos stuff in general, I think it's neglected. It's very boring for me personally. Now, I know there's a lot of people that really love the Imperium armies. For me, I'm like, cup of tea. There's different factions. Game. Tend to update the miniatures every now and then, but not all of them at the same time equally. Hey, Levy. Alexander is asking, can you do it now and again with both of you painting together because it really works for me? Yeah, I'm sure. It's up to Mrs. Skarnir.
Make time for that.
Sure, we can make time. We'll work it into the schedule.
Depends on how we get on today.
That's it. She'll put up with me.
First time to do this, so.
It's her first time painting in general, so it's like,
Yeah.
no pressure, no pressure. We'll do a live stream, no pressure. There you go, love. There's a paintbrush, like yourself.
Also, good.
Yeah, it's cool, crack. What doesn't work. why I said Tyranids are the best way to go, you know? Paint them whatever colour you like. Crazy. And we might actually set up the camera. Alright, it's not. Tyler Miller say, I enjoy painting. What normally happens, I get so focused on the details, I lose track of time, and before I know it, I've stayed up until 3 AM and got a couple of miniatures painted. Yeah, that happens as well. Get super focused on doing camouflage. You're like, oh, I'll paint for an hour or two, and it's like 5 hours later. 5 hours later. That happens. It does happen. You can tell you're enjoying yourself then when that happens. Get super focused on something. Yeah, because you get into like a... Yeah, you get into sort of like a painting zone. That part of your brain that keeps track of time just sort of gets shoved to the back or forgotten about. Yeah, so you can tell you've been enjoying yourself then. God, 2 days later, what have I been doing with myself? I've painted 5 miniatures. In 2 days, yeah. But like me, I'm a really slow painter. But it's fine. It's like as long as you take the time, it's you don't want to be rushing your stuff either. Because then you become disappointed with your work. But it all depends. Different people work like some people work really good with deadlines. I'm not so great with deadlines. I'm terrible with them. Other people, yeah, they're like me, they're not great with deadlines, but some people are awesome with it. So like some dudes and gals will some guys and gals will get themselves into...
Well, you're being inclusive.
You have to be inclusive. It's a game for everyone. You know what I mean? It's not just like blokes. It's everyone. Well, there's a lot of... It's mostly blokes. If I'm being honest, it's mostly blokes. But no, not just. People of all ages, genders, all interested in painting miniatures and gaming with them.
Is that good for saying mad? Saying she paints better than I was when I start.
Big boss. That's true. She paints better than me too. They're saying about the Imperium, some new Guard infantry would sure be nice. That's true. I think we've had the current Imperial Guard since about the Alive Tower. So what's that? 2003, 2004. Nice mix. I would definitely go for a Imperial Guard army if there was a Steel Legion plastic kits. That would, yeah. I like the Steel Legion dudes. They're a specific group of humans they only sell metal miniatures of, but they're really expensive. So if they did plastic kits, it would be cheaper. Awesome. It's Steel Legion plastic. Productions, you know me, Skarnir. I'm slow. It's like you're preaching to the choir here, bud. You're in good company. Don't worry about it. Big Boss Mad Knobs is like Grot Tank. It's like I've gotten closer to completing the Grot. But actually, yeah. Do you want to? Hold on, you keep painting away there, and I'll grab the Grot Tank. Progress that I've made. Oh. Alright, so for those of you who are like Skarnir still hasn't finished his Grot Tank and he's still working away on it, I have finally gotten the tracks done. So I've only a little bit of it to make left. I think in total I spent about 2 days. It took me like 2 days to make these guys. We have the tracks built for the Grot Tank. So these are all fully articulated, sort of. I've hand carved all of these tracks. It's all styrene rod that's been cut and glued into place. And all of the tubing. So each one of these tracks is made up of 6 pieces. It's like a rod, 3 bits of tubing, and I have the rods not glued in together yet. So progress wise, we are at this stage with the grow tanks. It's literally just a running gear. I need to sit down and be happy with the design. So we have both of our tracks done, just in case anyone's wondering. Yeah, so that's the stage we're at with the grow tank. I spent ages building these tracks from scratch. Tubes and rods and sheets of plastic cards. So we're nearly there. Hopefully we'll get it done before the next build. Nearly. I did start messing around with cutting out gears, cogs and stuff for the running gear. Yeah, but I wasn't too happy with the results, so I need to go back to the drawing board with that and just finish the project at this stage, if I'm being honest. I'm just indulging myself with detail a bit too much. Maybe a slow painter, but at least you're getting them painted Skarnir secure. Cheers, Alexander. Enough orcs to keep me going until retirement at this stage, anyway. Like Susano will be happy with new Orange Oz models. Those for Scarboys. Some new Scarboys models would be too bad. New minis. We always like new minis. Quick Boss is live stream progress show off. Well, you asked about the grow tank, so I have to show you that I've actually made some progress. I haven't forgotten. Not forgotten, folks. Sorry, chipping away. Gonna be wrapping up the stream soon, guys. So I'm gonna put the Discord link in again. And post in your work in progress, and we'll go through them. So if you've been working away on something during the stream, post it in the Discord in the live stream work in progress. And if you want to share with folk, we'll have a quick look before we finish up. We'll probably go for another 10-15 minutes. What do you think? And then that's it. I think we'll have a cup of tea and we'll go from there. We're not doing too bad. Some slow progress done. Good base coat or two. You on to your second dude? Sure, Jesus, you're painting faster than me. Not that it's a race or anything, you know what I mean?
All I'm saying, I am enjoying.
Yeah, I told you, it's fun. See, I told you it'd be fun. Twisted your arm, I told you it'd be fun. Looking, I agree with you there, Marcos. Better collects the Legion for actually classic metal. They are hard to convert. Don't come with extra bits. I have seen the 10-man squad units. They look cool, but yeah, I think you're right there. Trying to convert them, be a bit of a pain in the ass because they would be metal. It's an interesting point you make there. That is an interesting point. But if I'm being honest, it's like currently I'm seem to be getting into BattleTech a lot, so obviously I'm still gonna be chipping away at my orcs and 40k. I'm not giving up on that. Expect to see some BattleTech stuff popping up. Starter said I still have the Apocalypse book I need to review. Bought for 40k. Like Apocalypse games are big, massive games of Warhammer. And they brought out rules to play massive games. So like 4, 5, 6 people each side playing one big, massive game. Normally they take up about a day to do. They're really cool. It's fun. It's always fun. They're fun events, I find. You play Apocalypse and you're there with your mates. Go to Warhammer World, so sort of the HQ of the place. Well, it's not sort of, it is the main sort of place where they guys who make these miniatures. It's sort of like a day out, a week out, sort of. Have a laugh, and there's a pub there, so you can have a few beverages as well. Your shelf, and just have a laugh with your mates and money on some miniatures. And they've a miniature museum. You can go in and you can see all the miniatures that have been painted up by some professionals. All the different dioramas they have. Loads of miniatures. Thought of us something else to share. That's true, yeah. Tend to get along. We haven't killed each other yet. Fingers crossed it stays that way.
Yet.
Yet.
That being the main word.
She hasn't murdered me in my sleep yet.
Oh, so why is it me?
We'll just I don't know. We'll just assume it'll be you. Not the aggressive type.
Only I know that.
It's like, only you know. Getting it on when the live stream's over. He's getting in the neck. Marcos is saying I should have taken a picture before I left the house of your progress, dude. Ah, well, you know yourself. We do the stream every 2 weeks, so. WAAAAGH Productions isn't BattleTech an old game? No one plays it in play. It is an older game, but it's still played. It's older than 40k. Still played. That they're doing a Kickstarter. Stand if you see my. All right, so I think we'll have a look at, are people posting stuff in Orc in Progress? Posting it in the right place. Production. We're looking at live stream work in progress. So if you've got any pictures, throw them up now. I have a gander. So you this button. Hopefully that will bring us across to live stream progress. Now there's a bit of lag. See? So, Squig Boss is working on the Death Dreads.
Okay.
Scratch buildings.
So,
for materials. Sprue. So these bits are bits of miniatures and claws. So then customizing them bits and pieces, getting his paint on. Good progress, dude. I like them. They're interesting. See, this is part of the reason why people pick the army that we play, the orcs, because you can do customizations and scratch building for any army, but a lot of orc players, why they collect the army is because you have a lot of creative freedom.
Okay.
It's the same reason why I picked Tyranids for painting, like people with orcs. Crazy stuff. By that aspect of it. So yeah, good.
That's very
progress.
Good. Very cool, actually.
I likes them. Hans Gruber put up, he says, put this photo, one of my first models of paint, way back in '96 from. There's some of his old school miniatures.
Wow.
Starting off. That's a biker. They're being sort of like Space Marines back in the day, and then this is what he's doing now with Orca Morca hate painting cables. So, like you can see,
more. That is very.
Yeah, but you can see like the difference. Like it's your hand-eye coordination. It's like anything. If you practice painting, eventually your hand-eye coordination will improve over time anyway. You know what I mean? It's like anything. If you start learning to play the guitar, you're going to be,
Get better.
Yeah, you'll get better over time. It's like anything else. Put the time into it. Obviously, some people will have disability, won't be able to hold the brush still. You know what I mean? Maybe if they have like muscular dystrophy problems, stuff like that, you know? But there are limitations for some folks. You can do it. Yeah. Hey, progress. I'm liking the littles. They're looking good, man. Yeah, and he's smart. See the way he's painted them in bits? These miniatures are a pain in the ass to paint. Some miniatures you can't paint them fully easily once they're built. So, smart money there, Hans. Very smart money. Pale green git. Yeah, they're nice, man. I like the skin. Like little tails. Lots of little versions. Ashes. Weird boy stuff. So this is all paired up, and it's that's off a chopper. That's like head and stuff. Like snake bites. My characters for the next tournament. So Wrangle. I really like this arm. That looks cool. That's custom there. Bit of kit bashing. Boy. Skins are really nice. See the tone, see on the lip of the orc, he's blended in like a sort of skin tone. A lot of
detail there.
A lot of detail. Smooth. I like the paint. Very smooth sort of.
Very
natural. Yeah, it's very sort of natural tones and very smooth transition. So yeah, it's more natural. So you can take different approaches with the painting. Natural colors as well, earthy colors. Yeah. Or you can go totally outlandishing and glaring and cartoony. There's different styles. And
I wonder how long it took, actually.
So how long did it take Pale Green get?
For you to progress? Actually...
Yeah. Poke Cactus, Mech Shop, and 26 Boys based. Poke Cactus is cracking away.
That.
He's making some terrain, and he's been smart. So he's built a base shell up, and then he's glued a lot of cardboard to it. This will look awesome when it's painted up. You have to take that into account when you're looking at stuff. Get used to it after a while. You can see, you know what I mean? See the potential. This is going to look awesome. Sneaky Gene Stealers. And he's been doing the basing for his boys. So that's what people do, is they'll paint up the miniatures the way we've been painting them. And you can base them afterwards, or you can base them before you base coat them. Lots of boys.
Many boys.
Many boys. Lots and lots of boys. We have orc stuff. There's Gaslands. Oh, Gaslands. That's the Hot Wheels scratch. So this is all
like red for gold. Metallic?
Yeah, there's metallic colours. We haven't used any of them. Yeah, there's a red. So you can see the way the tone of these guys, there's red throughout. So it's like even the Jord has like an orangey red feel. Is the skin tone as well. Sort of like a red tone throughout them. The orc stuff is cracking painter and sculptor. So what he's doing here is on the bottom here, he's sculpting something from scratch. Pieces I'll show you later. He's
gives a story there as well. You know.
Bit of it. Done some here. Loving the paint job.
Good work. That's really nice. Really.
We got Poke Cat. Gosh, this is the inside of his garage. Got a vehicle there. They're hiding away in the corner. You see the way they've done the basing, so you can get like little static grass as well. So there's a whole load of stuff that goes into it. This is more of his use anything. This is the nice thing about scratch building. So that could be like the nozzle off of your hairspray or whatever. That is
Like,
yeah, and this like this plastic piece could be like the lid off of a McDonald's cup. Use anything. You know what I mean? Super creative.
Bit, I guess.
Yeah, terrain. Scratch building with terrain is creative. So that was all of our work in progresses for today. Work has been amazing. Loving the scratch builds, the paints, the scopes. I think we're gonna call it a night for this stream. Apologies for being late. I trying to get the finger out and set up 2 cameras instead of 1. Took a bit longer than usual. So I've managed to get like base coats done on 1.5 Nids. And what was your progress like so far? You got your
This is it. Got my
your jean stealer,
and my red.
got your reds and your blues started.
Grey there.
Grey on the.
I think the red is quite
With a purple head.
Go for something different, but you know.
Well, that's it. And we'll probably hit them up with a wash, and then I'll show you how to do dry brushes and highlights. Like a plan.
Sounds like.
That's it, folks. That's it for tonight's stream. We'll get Mrs. Skarnir to come on for another stream, hopefully in the not too distant future. Say congratulations. Slag though. Be announcing person. Get in contact, and then I'll get cracking on community prize, which was the knob WAAAAGH banner. So yeah, that'll be Garslag. I'll get in contact with. In great crack. Thanks for all hanging out.
Thank you guys for coming. Really fun.
Cheering out. I can't even think. Thanks for hanging out. I need a cup of tea. That's what's wrong with me. I'm dehydrated.
I think we'll have a cup of tea after this.
A brew on. But thanks for hanging out, guys, and we will catch you
another time.
Next one. Bye.
Bye bye.